So lately, I've been getting a lot of weird commissions for a very unique and interesting item, and I wanted to share that with you. Over the last couple of days, a lot of my friends have been asking me to craft a crucible tree for them on a bow, but not any bow, a very specific bow. They were looking for very weird but universal mods. They were looking for global damage, critical strike multi, and flask applied you have increased effect. Now, I'm going to put the mods on the screen for you, and if you look at them, they're not that bad. They're not that weird. They're pretty straightforward. But when you find out why these mods come together, well, that's where the big surprise comes into play. Now, friends, good morning and welcome to this wonderful ride, because when I found out about this, there was no way I couldn't make a video on this, because this is the 5th bow that I've been commissioned to make. Now, if we take a look at my stash and my inventory, where is it? You'll notice I have another bow here. I have another bow here. And I have a couple of bases here. So I have a couple of these bows, and I'm ready to do more commissions. And when I looked at Twitch today, there are other people today who are working on this exact same bow. Now, the real interesting part and the real kicker for this bow is not the bow itself, but what the bow does. If you looked already and you glanced, you saw that the bow has on it non-aura val skills require 40% reduced souls per use. That's the kicker. That's the real icing on the cake. This mod, plus those crucible tree mods, will make a very unique build in standard surpass all the rest. And when I mean surpass, I mean it's probably the best magic finding thing that you can be doing. Now today I tell you about this and I bring this to light because I've paid for the bases 30 divines base. And I thought that was very weird and very strange. Why this mod? Why this bow? Why this exact way? So I did some research and I'm here to share that research with you. So now I'm going to pull up a thread and I'm going to show you guys this. There was a thread on the Path of Exile website for standard for a solo best MF build in the game using Valve Fireball. This link will be posted in the description down below. So I started doing some digging and some research. I grabbed a buddy of mine, Will. We hopped into Discord and we just started talking. Now, if you want to find out about things like this ahead of time, my Discord's a great place to do that. We constantly talk about builds like this. Everybody in the Discord knew I was doing this ahead of time, and we learned together why. So this gentleman by the name of Muir put together this thread, talked about Valve Fireball, and pretty much showcased it to the world. And people found out that you can play in standard Val skills on a whole nother level. We knew things like Hate Forge already existed, and we knew that you can just pretty much cast your skills indefinitely, but people didn't realize that this bow mod was such an important part. But if you played standard, you did. Now the bow is pretty simple. It's double damage well focused, non-aura val skills require 40% reduced souls per use, +1 socketed gems, and then you synthesize the bow. If you watched my last video, or a video a couple weeks back on how to craft the mirror tier axe, you'll see that making the bow synth isn't the hard part. The hardest part of this whole ordeal isn't even the crucible. The hardest part of this ordeal is getting the bow with the mod on it. If you go over to trade and you look for the bow itself, there's not a whole lot of them left. There's one gentleman, he's selling a whole ton of them. He will farm them at the beginning of the league, but if I grab my bow here really quick and I just pull up the trade website, I'll give you a show. Now if we look at the trade website, we can see that this one's 20 divines. This one already synthesized, which we probably wouldn't want, is 20 divines. And then it goes 30 divines, 30 divines, a mirror, 350 divines, and that's it. That's the market. That's all of them. Now, I have 3 because I bought 3 for commissions, and I did that before I realized this was as crazy as it was. And as soon as I found out what was going on, I needed to share this with you. Now, mod 4, I'm not actually sure what people are doing for mod 4. My friends that have wanted commissions have asked for Rampage, so I have put Rampage. So I have the bow with non-aura val skills plus Rampage. Mod 1, mod 2, mod 3 will be those that I mentioned earlier. But I wanted to showcase to you how to actually get this and where to go farm it, because that's the most important part. Now, I talked to a gentleman from MF Academy who I bought the bows from, and he was very helpful. I don't remember his in-game name, but I think his name on the trade website was Loose. So if you're watching this, thank you for all the information. You've been absolutely wonderful in helping me confirm a couple of things. So to farm this and to get this all together, we need an Atlas compass or a charge compass that says your maps have a 50%, I'll put this here so you guys can see it better. Your maps have a 50% chance to contain Gift of the Red Queen per mortal fragment used. What does that mean? Well, the easiest way to explain that is to show it to you. So if I take this compass, now this compass, these compasses at the time of recording are like going up. I paid 5C for them yesterday. They look like they're about 10 to 15C each. So they're relatively going up, but they're also super easy to roll. So I encourage you to roll your own. I rolled 300 compasses or sextants yesterday looking for some, and I got 7 of them. So they're pretty standard to roll. So we're going to put that on. We're going to grab our mortal fragments. And now note, you need to use the Adziri fragments for this. Otherwise, it won't work. I'm going to grab a tier 16 map. We're going to grab something pretty easy. I don't know, waste pool. I like waste pool. Waste pool is fun for me. We'll chisel our map. We'll alk our map. And we'll just open our map. Now, in terms of the map, we're looking for one very specific thing. So you want to do a layout that's quick, a layout that's easy, something you enjoy running. I like waste pool. I think it's fun. It's just a different layout. It changes it up. The layout doesn't mean anything. Underground Sea or Underground River is really good. Layer is really good. Strand's really good. All of your typical maps are really good. Essentially what you're doing is you're looking for this right here. You're looking for this Val Reliquary, and this will give us everything that we need. Now, we can identify this, we can mess around with this, but there's no reason. We're going to open this box, we're going to have a bunch of mobs spawning, and we're going to kill them. Now, I know Sunglasses warning, I'm sorry, I should have said something, and if you're curious about this build will be coming out later in the week as I'm working on the build guide for it right now, and wanted to stop everything for this. Once you kill this, you'll notice a bunch of loot comes out, and sometimes you get lucky, and sometimes you don't. You don't. You just get unlucky. Essentially, what we're doing is we're looking for the items that spawn out of the chest. In this case, we got a corrupted Viridian Jewel. Now, we're going to be doing this over and over and over again until we hit. So this is a really good strategy if you want to pair with something else that you're doing. And essentially, what we're looking for is we're looking for items with Of the Underground mod. Now, some of them are worth more than others, and some of them are just like spiked to the moon. But if you manage to find a bow, well, you're in the money. You manage to find a claw or a one-handed weapon, you're in the money. You manage to find a shield, you're also in the money. There's a lot of these items that have this underground tag that are worth quite a pretty penny. And I encourage you to go out and search for them, because that's my plan and that's what I'm going to be doing. Because to be honest, when I'm done with the commissions, sorry, that's my Ring doorbell. When I'm done with these commissions, I know me personally, I'm going to want one of these myself. Now, I don't play standard. I don't have any intentions of playing standard, but with Crucible being Crucible and Crucible not being around anymore, this is something worth looking into. And if you're going to do it, you need to do it now. But if you see this video, you should probably, and you decide you want to do this, you should hurry up because there's not a whole lot of time left in Crucible. Now, this mod going into the future, going into later leagues, will still be in the game and still be around because it's been around for quite some time. But I don't know if it'll be as good or as useful as it is now because we don't have a lot of ways to abuse Val skills as we do in Standard. So, the reason I bring it up and the reason it's so important... Ooh! That's cool! The reason that I bring it up and the reason I'm so important is that players in Standard will buy this from you now in League and spend a pretty penny. Now, what do I mean by that? Oh, we missed again. Feels bad. Now, what do I mean by that? The bow that I finished and the bow that I commissioned, or had commissioned, I'll give you a little peek-see. Before we finished the synthesized mods, which, you know, we didn't finish at the time of the screenshot, the bow looked like this. This base is worth multi-mirror. The owner is currently in the process of changing the synth mods to +1 supported gems, +1 level of socketed gems, and +1 level of support gems, and he's going for explode. I believe the last time I spoke to him, he's almost done with it, but I haven't really kept tabs on it. I just wanted a picture of the bow in the current state when I finished it because I was proud of what I did. I put the global damage, I put the crit strike chance, I put the flash charges, I put the rampage, I got him node 5 because why not get node 5? And we synthesized the bow. The TLDR on how to synthesize the bow is you can take a base, you can imprint a base, you can hit it with the harvest benchcraft, which I'll show you. You can hit it with the harvest benchcraft, and if it goes synthesize 3 mod, you're done. If it doesn't, you imprint it back and go again. And that's the story. That's the case, and that's what you're hunting. Now, I really encourage you guys to go out and try to find it, because I know I will be, because there are people streaming right now who are trying to craft this bow. So there are people who need mats, there's people who need bows, and there's more people who don't want to do it. So friends, if you go out and you hunt for them and you get lucky, let me know. If you don't get one, let me know. I'm very curious what you think about this. And if you like more niche strategies like this in the future, let me know, because I'd be more than happy to provide them for you. But for now, friends, wish me luck, and so long, farewell, and see you in the next one.